Fortunately, corn is one of our better rotation crops because we can manage pigweed and manage our soil seed bank very well in corn. In this plot, where we see an untreated plot, we see the infestation of pigweeds that are here. These will absolutely add to our soil seed bank next year. This is the untreated plot. I'd like to walk down through this and show you some of our treatment that actually help us manage soil seed bank in corn. All right, as we walk into this plot and notice that we are pigweed free. There are no pigweeds in this plot. This plot has no Roundup in it. This is a Liberty Link corn variety, and this has been sprayed with a residual herbicide followed with Ignite. In other words, there are no Roundup treatments in this at all. We're pigweed free. Now, if we can stay pigweed free with no Roundup, now we are breaking that resistance cycle. We do not have resistant pigweeds coming back in and putting soil seed bank back next year. That's the name of the game. It's a numbers game. We need to get that soil seed bank down. We've got some programs we call zero tolerance, where we have no weeds that we allow. We walk the plot. This is a good way to get that soil seed bank down. In all of our corn program, we have a residual herbicide followed by a post-emergence herbicide. In this particular one, it's Balance Flex followed by Lotus and Ignite. There are a lot of different treatments that we could put into this. The important part is that we have no Roundup in this plot. We have rotated our chemistry, and that's the important part. Rotating crops is not as important as rotating chemistry, getting away from the glyphosate. Roundup Ready corn sprayed with Roundup is not doing what we need to do as far as meeting our resistance management program. One of the more important parts of managing the soil seed bank is after harvest with corn. Now, these little weeds that we're seeing here are very small, very spindly little weeds, not growing much in the shade. Once this corn starts to dry down, sunlight starts to come into this canopy, then these weeds will come out with a real vengeance. They will set seed, and they will replenish that soil seed bank. That's the part that we have to be careful with in corn. These little weeds look sort of innocent and harmless at this stage. I can assure you they will replenish the soil seed bank if we do not manage them after harvest. As you can see in this untreated plot, we do have a high population of several different weeds. Now, the backbone of all of our corn herbicides is atrazine. We have a lot of different mixtures of atrazine, a lot of different products with different names that contain atrazine. But atrazine is one of the best resistance management tools that we have for glyphosate-resistant pigweed. It is very effective on pigweed, and one of the tools that we use in all of our corn plots to manage this herbicide-resistant pigweed. As we know, the female pigweed can produce hundreds of thousands of seed per year. If there is an Achilles heel for this particular species, though, it may be the longevity of the seed in the soil. They do not live extremely long periods of time. Some of our weeds will live 30 years, 40 years in the soil seed bank. Pigweeds, we think, only live for 3 years. So if we can reduce the number of seed in the soil for 3 years in a row, then we are well on our way to reducing our population. That's the whole idea of reducing this soil seed bank. Get the number of seed down per acre per year. Be sure that we're not putting more back into the soil than what we had in the year before. In the past 3 to 5 years, with the herbicide resistance in this particular species, each year we've been adding more and more seed to our soil seed bank. We must stop, change our philosophy, go a different direction, and be more concerned about soil seed bank. If we can reduce it for 3 years, then we're ahead of the game. That's the name of the game in pigweed control. It's all about the numbers. Economics dictate what crop we plant many times. But if we have an opportunity to rotate between corn, between cotton, between soybean, obviously that gives us some additional tools to use to reduce this soil seed bank. In other words, we can be more effective in corn and controlling Palmer amaranth than we can in cotton, maybe with just Roundup. But even if we're controlling all of the weeds in both crops, that's still important that we rotate because we're rotating chemistry. Rotating a crops has a lot of advantages for its fertility, for its disease, for its irrigation, all those things. But from the weed control aspect, the importance of being able to come in with different chemistry in corn than what we have in cotton, than what we have in soybean, that keeps the weeds from building resistance to even another class of chemistry.